Have you ever stopped to think about how an AI goes from just crunching text to actually doing things for you in the real world? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the blueprint that teaches AI how to talk to our digital world, turning it into a genuine interactive agent. So let's get right into it.
I mean, really think about it for a second. An AI model is, brilliant with words and ideas, but how does it actually book a flight or check a database or even just ask you a simple question and, remember what you said? How does it make that incredible leap from a brain in a box to a truly helpful assistant?
Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. It needs a shared language. It needs a standardized, common way to communicate with all the different apps and data sources that are out there. Basically, it needs a protocol.
And that, right there, brings us to the star of our show today, the Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short. You can think of this as the official rulebook that lets AI models and external applications have a real structured conversation with each other.
So, what is MCP really? At its heart, it's kind of like a universal translator. It sets up a standard set of rules so that any AI can understand how to grab some data or use a tool or ask you for more info, and it doesn't matter how the app on the other end was built.
Now, to really get how this works, let's imagine our AI is like an apprentice. Before it can become this master agent that does amazing things, it's got to learn a few fundamental skills. And MCP is the framework for that training.
Okay, so skill number one is learning to see. In the world of MCP, we call these resources. And they are, for all intents and purposes, the AI's eyes. They let it read and understand external data. Things like product catalogs, user profiles, or lists of available options.
And here's where you see the magic in action. An AI can access a whole database of travel destinations just by referencing this one single address. That's the power of having a standard. It turns what could be a really complex task into a simple, easy-to-understand command.
So once our AI can see the world, it needs to learn how to act in it. And that's where tools come into play. If resources are the AI's eyes, then you guessed it, tools are its hands. They're the functions the AI can call on to actually perform actions, like booking a ticket, sending an email, or running a calculation.
This is just brilliant because it shows you how easy it is to teach the AI a new trick. A developer just adds this little label, it's called a decorator, to a function in their code. And just like that, the AI now knows, hey, I have a new skill called Plan Trip that I can use to help people.
Okay, so our apprentice AI can see, and it can act. But the real magic, the part that feels truly intelligent, happens when it learns how to have a proper back-and-forth conversation. So let's see how these basic skills come together to create a genuinely interactive experience.
All right, we're going to watch our AI use that exact Plan Trip tool we just talked about. And this isn't just a simple one-shot command. Oh no, this is a multi-step process that's going to use every feature we've discussed so far and even a few more.
And the interaction begins. The Plan Trip tool knows it needs a destination to start, so it uses a feature called Elicitation to ask the user directly. And notice, it even provides options. It got those by reading that travel/destinations resource we saw just a minute ago. See how it's all connected?
The user makes their choice, Paris. Now, this seems simple, right? But this is a huge step. Behind the scenes, the protocol is now storing this preference. It's building a memory or a context just for this one conversation. And because it's a stateful conversation, meaning it remembers what's happened, the AI knows it still needs more info, so it follows up, asking for the trip type. This kind of multi-turn dialogue is absolutely critical for handling complex jobs that you just can't solve with a single command.
All right, now the AI has enough information to get to work, but tasks like searching for flights and hotels can take a little time. So, to avoid just leaving the user hanging, it sends out a progress notification. This little update is so important for managing expectations and showing that, yes, it's actively working on it. Now this is clever. The application itself, the code, it doesn't know anything about travel tips. But it does know that the large language model is fantastic at creative writing. So it uses a feature called sampling to hand off the creative part, asking the model to come up with some personalized tips. This is where the structured app and the creative AI work together in perfect harmony.
So, after all that back and forth, gathering information, working in the background, our AI agent is finally ready to present its masterpiece. Let's take a look at the final plan it put together.
And here it is. The AI gives us a super clear, concise summary of the entire trip it's planned out, right down to the total cost. Everything the user said has been used to build this. And now, for the most important part, it asks for final confirmation before it actually does anything. The user gives the final go ahead, and boom. Instantly, the tool finishes its job. The booking is confirmed, a unique reference number is generated, and all the details are locked in. The action in the real world is officially complete.
But wait, it's not done yet. Remember that resources skill? The AI now pulls in some extra useful info about Paris from its resource files, adding real value that goes way beyond just a simple booking confirmation.
And there they are, the results of that sampling request from earlier. Those personalized, AI-generated tips are presented right to the user, making the whole experience feel that much more helpful and intelligent. This is the whole shebang.
So we just watched our AI go from a total blank slate to a fully capable travel agent. It's a really cool demo for sure, but what's the bigger picture here? Why is a protocol like MCP so incredibly important? Here's the key takeaway. A common language like MCP is the absolute fundamental building block for creating AI agents that are both reliable and sophisticated. It provides that essential structure you need to move beyond simple chatbots and start building applications that can handle complex, multi-step tasks out there in the real world.
And that, of course, leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to ponder. We just saw an AI plan a vacation. But if there's a standard way for it to interact with any tool or any piece of data, what comes next? Managing a company's entire supply chain? Coordinating complex scientific research? The possibilities are, well, truly wide open.